let Ilanga keep doing the squats. Up and down, no time limit. But I wanted more. When go down, both arms must touch the stoves. Just a touch, not resting on them. Understand? I said firmly. This pushed him further, straining his thighs even harder, while making him endure the full heat. He followed my order completely. Full squat, arms touching the stoves, barrels tilted on his shoulders, for nearly an hour without fail. I sat back, watching closely. Saw his body begin to slow under the strain, the extended exertion taking its toll. Sweat poured off him, glistening in the light. Perfect. Got up from the chair and walked toward Ilanga, close enough to hear his heavy panting. Watched as he struggled to lift through that rep, his body trembling under the strain. Stop! I ordered, halting his squat mid-motion. Reached out, touched one of his bulging, exerted biceps. Warm, almost burning. Then the barrel near it. Less hot. The barrels weren't enough for the heat I wanted. Time to step further. Tired? I asked him, expecting a sign of strain or hesitation. But no, his response came. Ilanga, can take more massa. Simple words, broken by his breath, but they carried so much. Determination, strength, and his eagerness to serve. No hesitation, just pure obedience and endurance. Good. Now, drop them. Have some rest. This was just a pause, not the end. Ilanga knew it too. This was far from over. I watched as he stepped forward slightly, carefully avoiding the barrels hitting the stoves. Then, with steady control, he slowly lowered himself into a kneeling position, skillfully balancing the heavy barrels on his shoulders. Every move showed his strength and precision. What he did confirmed his words. He could take more. Arms on each stove, legs on each barrel. I ordered, stepping abruptly closer to the kneeling Ilanga. Instinctively, he leaned back to avoid colliding with me, but in doing so, one arm brushed against the stove. He grunted, feeling the heat immediately. Exactly what I wanted. A fitting introduction to arms on each stove. With a short pause, he processed my command before moving into action. Both arms extended outward, gripping the top of each stove. The heat was intense, and his sweaty arms made it harder to hold on, but he didn't stop. Slowly, with sheer strength, he lifted his muscular frame, pushing against the heat and slippery grip. With effort, he raised his legs and placed them on each barrel, finding his balance. Only someone as strong as him could manage this. Higher! I shouted, seeing his hips hanging too low. Ilanga obeyed, his arms straining as he lifted his lower body. He shifted his legs, adjusting to the weight pressing on the barrels. Wider, I added, pushing his feet farther apart with my hands, increasing the tension. No easy resting now. The new position forced his thighs and calves to strain just as much as his arms. Arms on the stoves, tortured by the heat. For limbs spread apart, holding his weight in the air. A forced punishment for refusing my offer in the playroom earlier. His strength, powered by his well-built, muscular torso, kept him in position. It surprised me how well he held on. But I knew it wouldn't last long. The strain would take over soon. While Ilanga was focused on balancing himself in the air, he didn't realize how vulnerable he was in that position. Completely helpless, even without restraints. As his body began to twist slightly from fatigue and strain, I moved closer, this time, stepping into direct contact. Let me help you bear the weight at your weakest spot, I said, a low giggle rumbling in my throat. Stepped in close, letting my naked hip press against and support his hanging hip. My bare skin pressed against his, and I saw the moment he realized. This time, he had no choice.